I want to show you how to add a new team member to SalonBiz. The first step is you go to Blueprints, put your password in, and then you're going to go to Staff and Book. And underneath this section of Blueprints, you're going to see all of our team members and all their employee files. So you just hit Add, and you start typing in their name. And then when it comes to staff code, you make up a staff code for them. Our staff codes are always their first and last initial. If they're a front desk person, you're going to want to put a dash in front of it and then put S. Sue Smith. If they're a service provider, don't put a dash. That just helps us with reporting features. If there's a dash, then it takes the front desk out of the report. So after you finish that, you just hit Add. And then you're going to see all the tabs on their file here. So you're going to start doing filling in the blanks. The first thing is booking name. Booking name, again, is if they're a team member, a service provider, I should say. You're going to put their initials. This is what's going to show up on that top bar on the appointment calendar. So how we add stylists in, or service providers, we put their initials in there, but then we put dash, and then we put their level. So Sue Smith, if she was a hairstylist, would be entry level. And we would put that up in there. If they were a front desk person, it really doesn't matter, but you would just put SS. Then you're going to put in their address. And their city. And their state, and their zip code. And then you're going to want to make sure you fill in this bottom information. So put their phone number, if they have home phone, mobile phone. I love beeper, right? You don't need to put their social security in there. Put their birth date in there. And then put their anniversary. So their anniversary is obviously the start date, right? So whatever today's date is, so 11/13/15, and so that we always have their start date in here. Finally, on this right section here, you're going to choose what type of team member they are. Are they a hairstylist or front desk or whatever? So we're back to front desk, or back to hairstylist for this person. Then we're going to need a password for them, and obviously the best thing to do is to ask them what they want their password to be, but tell them it should be sort of short and sweet. You know, four digits is digits, numbers, letters, whatever it is probably a good way to go. So we'll just give her a password, and then you verify the password. Then if they're a service provider, we want to make sure we look at this section here. Print travelers with daily schedules. So you're going to want to click yes on that. Allow to use SalonBiz. For everybody, we want to allow them to use SalonBiz. And why this is important is because this is where we get their security functions set up. So first it allows them to use SalonBiz, but it gives them no access for anything using their passcode. So later we're going to need to go in and adjust their security settings. And then don't print on productivity report. If they're a front desk, excuse me, we don't want them to show on productivity because they're not producing, you know, services. The next tab, if this is a hairstylist, is schedule. The next tab is service list. Then we have payroll and pop-up info. So what I usually go to next is I go to the service list and I start adding services to their name. This sometimes can be done after they start. At least we just have them into our computer. But if we need to get them set up for like models and such, this will be an important function to get set up. So if this is a hairstylist, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start adding services that they're capable of doing, right? And everything's going to come up as a default price and a default time. And then we can go back and adjust it. So you're going to click on category here because it'll make it go a lot faster. And these are all of our service categories that we have set up in SalonBiz. So you're actually going to go to the first hair service category. So on this list, add-on chemical is considered a hair service category. So you click on that, and then you click add category. and all of the services that are listed under that category will automatically go underneath the employees service list. So then you click category again, and you just start going down. So hairstylist, I'll do nails. So we can add nail services as well. This category would fall under that, add on nail services. And I click add category, and it continues to add them to their service list. So hairstylists don't do artificial nails, backfills, body care, facials, body waxing, Brazilian blowout. I'm going to add that category. If you ever aren't sure, you just add it. You can go back and delete it because I'm not sure if the Cariful services are underneath there. So to be safe, I'm just going to add those. I'm going to add color, conditioners. I'm going to also add consultation in there. So you just keep going down this list and start adding the categories that apply to them. So facial wax combo, and it's just continuing to build to their list. So after you've gone through all of these categories and added the list underneath there, my favorite next step is to print this list out, and that gets done here. I can also go through and delete some if I want to make some adjustments, like Brazilian blowout is not a service that we offer anymore. So I can highlight that and hit delete. Let's say that she's not going to do comp mini manicure was an old function that we don't use anymore. So I could go and delete that. But whatever shows up here, you would just go through and you would edit and delete and stuff. Then what you're going to do is you're going to start adjusting pricing and time. So you're going to make sure you print out a price level worksheet, and just as a reminder, it's always found on our desktop in the office, and you can find it right here, price level worksheet. So you would pull this up and you would hit print, and that would give you the pricing that we have for all of the levels so that you can adjust their prices back on here. And again, how you adjust a price, let's say that we're gonna adjust color here. Let's say that default time and price is something that we didn't want to use. We would highlight the line. This is where the default information is, but if we want to make an adjustment, we click this little box here. And then let's say that her price is really $55. So we would change that to $55. And let's say that she needs 2 hours instead. So we would change that time over here by clicking that box and changing it to 2 hours. And then you would just hit update, and update it will change that to $55 and $2 hours for her time. Additionally, later on in this process of this list, we might have a stylist that says, I'd like to do my colors where I can book a process time and an open time. So that's the same place you do this. You actually click on this box, make sure that it's clicked. And let's say that they only wanted 30 minutes for applying the color, and they wanted a process time right here of 30 minutes, and they wanted a finish time of 30 minutes. So you would make that adjustment, and then you would hit update, and it would make it perfect, right? Again, always go to print the list and show the service provider, and if there is an educator, have the educator take a look at it as well, so that they can verify that these services are actually all services that they can do. They're ready to be performing on guests and models, and kind of go through that. So that is how you add the services in there. Finally, we have this section of adding a schedule. Now, when they first start and they're getting set up in the computer, we usually don't have a schedule for them. So when we add somebody new to the computer quickly, we just use the schedule template. So underneath template is all these customized templates that can be used. So there's one generic basic template called booked, and this will allow them to show up on the book if they're a service provider. With no open time, but it would still again put them on the book, so it would allow us to open them up and start booking some services. If we wanted to do that, we would just choose that template and hit add, And then we would put the date of today, and down here, oops, it's saying, I forgot, you have to have it start at the Sunday. So maybe we'll put the 8th there. It automatically prompted the 8 here. And then you would just click rebuild now, and it would build their schedule to match whatever you chose. Let's say we hired a massage therapist though, and we like know exactly what their schedule is going to be. You just need to go to return to previous and choose schedule template up here. And now you need to actually make their schedule template. So you go in here and you call it Sue Smith. Hit add, and then you just start adjusting the schedule. Let's say they're not going to have any like automatic scheduled lunches. You would unclick that. Let's say that they're working on Sundays from 11 to 5, but they're off on Mondays, so we're going to unclick this box. And they're off on Tuesdays, and they work Wednesdays from 9 to 5, and they work Thursdays from 3 to 9, Fridays 3 to 8, and Saturdays 8 to 5. After we've made that adjustment, we go to reason for not working is not working, and lunch reason is lunch. And I'm not really sure why it makes you choose that, but it actually does, so that it shows on the book of why the reason is that people are blocked. And then after that, you just do rebuild the schedule template. Click it, and it's going to say, are you sure? And you say, yep, positive. And it gives you their schedule that we've made. You can see that I've made an error here on Friday, and so it's showing blocked, sort of. So I need to go back now and see what happened to that. So I'm going to go out of the screen and go back in and see if I've made a mistake. And yep, I did. I put 3 o'clock p.m. as a start time and 8 a.m. as a finish time. So it was showing an error there. It wasn't actually opening her up. So I need to go back and change that to p.m. and then hit rebuild. Are you sure? Yep. And now it's showing correctly on there. So this is also how you change somebody's schedule in the computer, so you don't have to manually do it every single day. Anyway, so now I'm going to hit return to previous. I'm going to go back to staff, hair, Sue Smith, and I'm going to put underneath her personnel file, under her schedule, I'm going to delete booked because I've decided now this is going to be her schedule. So I'll go back into schedule templates here and find Sue Smith in this list. Right here, hit add, and then rebuild. And it will say, are you sure? And you're going to say yes. And that would add that. Again, if you have a front desk person, you wouldn't even mess with this, you know, either the schedule or the service list. Nothing goes under payroll. Pop-up information, as you know, could be like any information you want to put in there, but it will pop up every time you go to book them. So anyway, so that's a little bit of information on staff schedules and how to add new people and how to add services and adjust times.